Have you ever noticed that the people who seem to have the perfect middle-class life, the ones with the manicured lawn, the two brand new SUVs in the driveway, and the framed degrees on the wall, are often the exact same people who are the most terrified of losing their jobs? It's because they've been tricked. They have been sold a lie so convincing, so polished, and so universally accepted that they don't even realize they are walking into a trap until the door slams shut behind them. I'm Finn, your finance buddy, and today we are going to expose the Middle Class Decoy. We are going to talk about why the financial advice you got from your parents, your teachers, and especially your bank is actually a weapon designed to keep you working until you are 70 years old. We are going to dismantle the myth of good debt piece by piece. If you have ever felt like you were doing everything right, you got the degree, you bought the house, you drive a safe car, but you still feel broke at the end of the month, this video is the answer you have been looking for. And if you stay until the end, I'm going to show you the Inversion Method. It's the specific mathematical shift that the wealthy use to escape this trap and stop trading their time for money. Let's get into it. To understand the decoy, we first have to understand the trap of appearance. Most of us grew up with a very specific image of success. I call it the middle class starter pack. You know what I'm talking about. It's the checklist. Go to a good university, get a stable job, buy a house in the suburbs, buy a nice car, have 2 kids and a golden retriever. It sounds nice, doesn't it? It sounds safe. But there is a massive difference between looking rich and being wealthy. And the banking system, the marketing industry, and the government, they rely on you not knowing the difference. Here is the brutal truth. If you earn $200,000 a year, but you spend $190,000 a year financing your rich lifestyle, you are not rich. You are a high-income poor person. You are fragile. You are one corporate restructuring, one bad medical diagnosis, one recession away from losing everything. The decoy is the stuff, the house, the car, the degree. These are the props we buy to signal to the world that we made it. But to buy these props, we usually have to take on debt. And this is where the brainwashing kicks in. We are told from a young age that there are 2 types of debt. There is bad debt, like credit cards and payday loans. We all agree that's bad. But then they tell us about good debt. They say student loans are an investment in your future. They say a mortgage is forced savings. They say a low-interest car loan is smart leverage. This is the lie. Debt is not an investment. Debt is a claim on your future time. Every single dollar you borrow today is a promise that you will work tomorrow to pay it back. When you take on good debt, you are selling your future freedom hour by hour to a bank. So let's break down the 3 biggest decoys that trap smart people in a cycle of mediocrity. Trap number 1, the education decoy. Picture this. You are 18 years old. You are barely old enough to vote. You have to raise your hand to go to the bathroom in high school. But suddenly, you are allowed to sign a contract for $100,000 of non-dischargeable debt. And everyone cheers you on. Your parents, your guidance counselor, society, they all say, go to the best school you can get into. It's an investment. But is it? Let's look at the math. Let's say you take out $80,000 in loans to get a degree in a field that pays, let's be generous, $50,000 a year starting out. That debt has an interest rate, let's say 6%. That means before you even pay a dime of the principal, that debt is growing by almost $5,000 a year. When you graduate, you aren't starting at zero. You are starting in a deep hole. You get that first paycheck and you feel rich. Wow, $3,000 a month. But wait. $500 goes to the student loan, $800 goes to taxes, rent is $1,200. Suddenly, you are 23 years old working 40 hours a week, and you have no disposable income. You can't invest. You can't take risks. You can't quit your job to start a business because you have that monthly payment hanging over your head. You have become an indentured servant to your past choices. Now, I am not saying education is bad. Knowledge is power. But expensive degrees with no ROI calculation are a trap. The system convinces you that the college experience is worth any price. It isn't. The wealthy treat education like a business decision. They ask, if I spend X, what is my return on Y? The middle class treats it like a religious obligation. They pay whatever is asked and hope for a miracle. Trap number 2, the housing decoy. Okay, I am going to make some people mad with this one. How many times have you heard this phrase, rent is throwing money away? It is the most common financial cliche in the world, and it is mathematically wrong for millions of people. Let's walk through the American dream. You get married, you feel pressure to buy a house, you stretch your budget, you buy a $500,000 home with a 30-year mortgage at, let's say, 7% interest. You feel great. You're a homeowner. You're building equity. But look at the amortization schedule. Please, I beg you, look at the schedule. In the first year of that mortgage, your payments might total $40,000. Do you know how much of that actually goes to paying off the house? Maybe $3,000. The other $37,000? Interest. Pure profit for the bank. You aren't building equity. You are renting money. You are renting the money from the bank to live in the house. And unlike renting an apartment, when the water heater explodes, or the roof leaks, or the property taxes go up, you have to pay for it. A house is a liability that you live in. It takes money out of your pocket every single month. It only becomes an asset when you sell it, maybe 30 years later. But here's the opportunity cost that nobody talks about. Let's say instead of buying that house, you rented a modest apartment for half the cost. And you took the difference, the down payment, the repair costs, and you invested it in the S&P 500. Over 30 years, the stock market has historically crushed the returns of residential real estate. But we are emotional creatures. We want the nest. We want the decoy of the big house because it signals stability. But ask yourself, is it stability or is it an anchor? I have friends who want to move for a better job. They can't. They can't sell the house. The market is down. They are stuck. The good debt has turned into a prison cell. Trap number 3, the car decoy. But Finn, I got 0% financing. It's basically free money. I hear this all the time. The car industry creates these incentives to trick you into looking at the monthly payment instead of the total cost. They ask you, how much can you afford a month? That is the wrong question. The question is, how much of my life am I trading for this metal box? Let's say you buy a $50,000 SUV. 0% interest. Great deal, right? The literal second you drive that car off the lot, it loses 10 to 15% of its value. In 5 years, it will be worth maybe $25,000. You just paid $50,000 for something that turned into $25,000. You lit $25,000 on fire. And while you were driving that depreciating asset, you were paying insurance, gas, maintenance. The middle class is obsessed with looking the part. We think we deserve a new car because we work hard. But wealthy people drive their cars into the ground. Warren Buffett drives a car that costs less than the average high schooler's first ride. Why? Because he understands that a car is just a tool to get from A to B. It is not a status symbol. When you take on a car payment of $600, $700 a month, you are robbing your future self of millions. Let's do the math quickly. $700 a month. Invested at 8% over 40 years. That is over $2.3 million. That SUV cost you $2 million of retirement money. Was the heated seat worth it? So, we have the education, the house, and the car. The trifecta of the middle class decoy. When you combine them, you get a person who makes $100,000 a year, but has $3,000 a month in debt payments before they even buy groceries. They are running on a hamster wheel. They have to keep running faster and faster just to stay in the same place. They can never stop working. They can never take a break. And that is exactly where the system wants you. They want you to be a compliant worker bee. They want you too scared to ask for a raise, too scared to quit, too scared to disrupt the status quo. But there is a way out. Now that we see the cage, we can start to dismantle it. This is where we talk about the inversion. Most people operate on this formula. Income minus expenses equals, hopefully, savings. And usually, the expenses are so high because of the decoys that the savings are zero. The wealthy operate on a different formula. Income minus investments equals expenses. They pay themselves first, but more importantly, they reject the decoys. Step 1. Reframe your identity. You have to stop caring what people think. This is the hardest part. You have to be willing to look poor to become rich. You have to be the guy driving the 10-year-old Honda while your friends are driving new BMWs. You have to be the couple renting a 2-bedroom apartment while your friends are buying McMansions. It hurts the ego. I know, I've been there. I remember pulling up to a valet in my beat-up sedan while my friends got out of leased luxury cars. I felt small. But then I looked at my bank account, and I looked at theirs, and I realized I was winning. I was free. They were owned by the bank. Step 2. Attack the debt. If you already have the debt, if you already fell for the decoy, don't panic. But you need to get angry. You need to treat that debt like an emergency. It is a fire in your living room. You don't say, "Oh, I'll put it out a little bit every month." No, you grab the hose. You cut your lifestyle. You sell the car if you have to. You pick up a side hustle. You do whatever it takes to get back to zero. Because zero is the starting line for freedom. Step 3. Buy assets, not liabilities. This is the fun part. Once the debt is gone, all that cash flow, that $500 from the student loan, that $700 from the car, it stays with you. And you start buying little green soldiers. That's what I call dollars. You send them out to capture more dollars. You buy index funds, you buy real estate that you rent out, not live in, you buy businesses, and eventually, a magical thing happens, the crossover point. The moment your assets generate enough cash to pay for your life, that is the moment the decoy loses all its power. You don't need to impress anyone anymore because you know you are free. Imagine waking up on a Monday morning. The alarm goes off and you realize you don't have to go to work. The mortgage is paid by your dividends. The groceries are paid by your rental income. You go to work because you want to, or maybe you don't. Maybe you learn to paint. Maybe you travel. Maybe you start a charity. That is wealth. Wealth is not a number. Wealth is time. The middle class decoy tricks you into trading your time for things. I want you to trade your money for time. So here is my challenge to you. Take a hard look at your life. Look at your good debt. Is it really good, or is it just a leash? Are you buying things to impress people you don't even like? Are you chasing a version of success that was sold to you in a commercial? Break the pattern. Be the weird one. Be the one who rents. Be the one with the old car. Be the one who retires at 45 while everyone else is working until 70. I want to know in the comments, what is the biggest decoy purchase you almost fell for? Or maybe one you did fall for. I'll tell you mine. I almost bought a boat. A boat! Can you imagine? The ultimate money pit. Thank God I snapped out of it. Share your story below. Let's help each other wake up. If you found value in this, if this made you think differently about your debt, hit that like button. It helps the channel growing against the algorithm of, well, the people selling you the decoys. And subscribe if you want to become your own finance buddy. We're building a community of free people here. Don't let the shiny things distract you from the goal. I'm Finn. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!